All right, folks. All right, folks. Welcome to today's RolandS.Martin Unfiltered podcast. It is November 19th, 2017. I am in San Antonio, Texas. I was speaking to a group of healthcare executives on tomorrow. I was, of course, in Lincoln University today, so it's been a travel day. I literally just walked into the hotel. I was speaking in Lincoln University, the inauguration of their new president. Had a great time there. Then had to go drive to Philadelphia, catch a plane, fly from Philadelphia to Houston to San Antonio. And so I did not have an opportunity to do the podcast earlier today because of my travel schedule, but I am still glad to be here. Glad to be here, glad to be with you. And so I am ready to get this thing going. I was indeed paying attention to the news. I was following everything that was going on, and I was following things obviously on Twitter, keeping up with all of that. And I did not see the news conference, the live news conference of Trump Chief of Staff John Kelly um, coming out and speaking. And again, I'm sorry, it's October. It's October 19th, 2017, the date of this podcast. I was incorrect. On my, of course, I put in November. I was typing so fast. I put November 19th down for the podcast, but it's all good. It's an easy correction. It's no big deal. So, so how shall we do this? So, Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, okay, from Florida, a good sister. You know her by the cowboy hat that she often is wearing. You have seen her um, very visible, and she came out publicly. I had her on TV1. She came out publicly talking about this call that Donald Trump had with the widow of one of the Green Berets who was killed in Niger. So this is her comments have led to all sorts of drama. Trump says, "Oh, I didn't make these comments." She said that he was insulting to the widow when he called her. They were in the limousine on their way to the Miami airport to meet the plane where his body was returned. His funeral would take place on Saturday. She says that Trump could barely remember his name. He kept saying, "Your guy, your guy." She said that Maisha, when they finished, said he couldn't even remember his name. And Trump basically said, "Well, I guess he knew what he signed up for, but I guess it still hurts." She was offended by that. Well, today, John Kelly, retired general, lost a son a few years ago in the military, came out to defend Donald Trump, but instead of defending Donald Trump, what he did was he tried to put this thing back on the Congresswoman. And so let me explain to y'all what he did. So because he's a Gold Star family, that is, individuals who have lost children in the military, because he is this former four-star general, he brings tremendous credibility. And so we have deference to individuals like General Kelly. So he comes out, this is what he says today in the news conference.
I was stunned when I came to work yesterday morning and brokenhearted at what I saw a member of Congress doing. A member of Congress who listened in on a phone call from the President of the United States to a young wife, and in his way tried to express that opinion. He's a brave man, a fallen hero. He knew what he was getting himself into because he enlisted. There's no reason to enlist. He enlisted. And he was where he wanted to be, exactly where he wanted to be, with exactly the people he wanted to be with when his life was taken. That was the message. That was the message that was transmitted. It stuns me that a member of Congress would have listened in on that conversation. Absolutely stuns me. And I thought, at least that was sacred. You know, when I was a kid growing up, a lot of things were sacred in our country. Women were sacred, looked upon with great honor. That's obviously not the case anymore, as we see from recent cases. Life, the dignity of life, was sacred. That's gone. Religion, that seems to be gone as well. Gold Star families, I think that left in the convention over the summer. But I just thought the selfless devotion that brings a man or woman to die on the battlefield, I just thought that that might be sacred. And when I listened to this woman and what she was saying and what she was doing on TV, the only thing I could do to collect my thoughts was to go and walk among the finest men and women on this earth. And you can always find them because they're in Arlington National Cemetery. Went over there for an hour and a half. Walked among the stones, some of whom I put there because they were doing what I told them to do when they were killed.
Okay. Let me deal with this. First and foremost, any of us are saddened by John Kelly's loss. Any of us are saddened by John Kelly's loss. But John Kelly's loss does not give him a shield from criticism for what he just said. Now let me unpack what he said. Now, let me help y'all out. I got to give a speech in less than 12 hours, traveling all day. I'm extremely tired. But I was not going to wait because my staff is off tomorrow, so we have a tape show tomorrow. Our school choice is the Black Choice Town Hall that airs tomorrow. But I could not wait until Monday to share my thoughts and my disgust with what Kelly just did. I need y'all to hear me on this. First of all, he talked about his disgust. You are the chief of staff to a man who is disgusting on a daily basis. So all of a sudden, you are disgusted by what Congresswoman Frederica Wilson had to say with regards to this phone call? Really? So please share with us, John Kelly, what also disgusted you by your boss. Since you want to come out and be disgusted, you then talked about how you had to go walk among the sacred stones at Arlington National Cemetery when your boss is the one who is playing war games with North Korea and is threatening to use nuclear weapons, which will annihilate millions. But you are not disgusted by his tweeting. Oh, please, spare me your indignation. Because out of everything that has happened, this is what disgusts you. This right here is what disgusts you. Then he says in his statement that there were things in this nation that were sacred. He said women used to be sacred, not anymore. You are the chief of staff to an admitted sexual assaulter. You are the chief of staff to a man who has ridiculed, chastised, dismissed, denigrated, degraded women in his life, in his career, who will focus on the looks of a woman. But you are disgusted. Really? So please share with us, John Kelly, your comments about the sick nature of what your boss has said about women. Please, by all means. Please, by all means, let me know about that. See, but then John Kelly said Gold Star families used to be sacred, but that left at the conventions this summer. Oh. You mean to tell me when your boss trashed and attacked a Gold Star family, and then you still went to work for him? You are a Gold Star family. Your boss trashed and attacked the Khans, a Gold Star family. So when you say that we lost the sacredness of the Gold Star families at the conventions this summer, what you are saying, John Kelly, is that your boss is the one who disrespected Gold Star families. Hillary Clinton did not disrespect Gold Star families. Your boss did. So you want to come out and stand before the cameras and stand before the nation and condemn Congresswoman Frederica Wilson for your disgust over her listening on a phone call, but not one time did John Kelly tell the public that Frederica Wilson, Congresswoman from Florida, has known that family, has been a mentor to that family. See, John Kelly tried to paint a picture as somehow Frederica Wilson just came in and eavesdropped on the conversation when she was in the limousine with the family. You don't get in the limousine with the woman who raised Sergeant Johnson, his aunt because his mother died when he was young. You don't get in the limousine with his widow unless there's a relationship that is there. So what John Kelly did was he did not want to own up to the fact that Representative Wilson has known that family for quite some time. And so she was speaking from a position of authority while in the limousine with the family. She said that the phone call was on a speakerphone, which means, follow me here, which means that when the White House called Maisha Johnson, they either had to call Maisha Johnson's phone or they had to call the woman who raised Sergeant LaDavid Johnson. I need y'all to follow me here. That means that Maisha Johnson or whoever answered the phone had to put the phone on speakerphone. Let me just help y'all out with this here. If I am in the car with a group of people and I want them to hear the conversation, Roland will then put the phone on speakerphone. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? I am not, but if I don't want them to hear the conversation, I will not put the phone on speakerphone. So therefore, I will be the only person to hear what the other person on the other line is saying. So clearly, by the actions here, they wanted Congresswoman Frederica Wilson to hear the conversation with Donald Trump. I don't think y'all understand. But of course, when all of this happened, you heard none of that from John Kelly. Oh, I'm sorry. Did y'all also hear John Kelly say before the cameras that Kawanda Jones Johnson, who is the woman who raised Sergeant LaDavid Johnson when his mother died when he was young, did you hear her tell the Washington Post, quote, President Trump did disrespect my son and my daughter and also me and my husband? So the woman who raised Sergeant LaDavid Johnson confirmed what Congresswoman Frederica Wilson had to say. Am I the only one who noticed? Am I the only one who noticed that John Kelly had nothing to say to refute Kawanda Jones Johnson? Did y'all notice that? No, he didn't. So you want to denigrate and trash Congresswoman Frederica Wilson for sharing what took place on a phone call, but you don't want to own up to exactly the fact that that Kawanda Jones Johnson confirmed what she had to say. So now John Kelly wants to step out there and use his status as a Gold Star family as a shield to protect Donald Trump from to inoculate him from any criticism, and then want to put it on this black woman in Florida who was a member of Congress. Oh, but I'm sorry. That's just not quite how this thing goes. I cannot respect you, John Kelly, standing before the cameras and condemning what Congresswoman Wilson had to say if you don't have the courage to condemn the very person who made the comment. See, I need y'all to also listen closely to what John Kelly said. I don't know if y'all caught it. I did when he initially made his comment. I caught it. I heard it. I heard it. When he said, well, Donald Trump, in his own way, confirmed this. Listen to me again. Donald Trump, in his own way, confirmed this. See, y'all, this is a president who likes to pimp the military. Let me say it again. He likes to pimp the military. He likes to use the military for his own purpose. And John Kelly, what you are doing, John Kelly, is you are enabling Donald Trump. By you standing there and offering yourself as a shield to Donald Trump, what you are doing is you are enabling him. See, what offends me also about what John Kelly said is he then compared Congresswoman Wilson to an empty barrel who makes the most noise. He issued a personal attack against Congresswoman Frederica Wilson. But didn't want to own up to the fact that Congresswoman Wilson has known this family for a long time. Because you see, Sergeant LaDavid Johnson was a member of the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence Project, which is a mentoring program started by that empty barrel who makes the most noise, Congresswoman Frederica Wilson. She started that before she was a congresswoman, when she was an educator. Oh, I'm sorry. Did y'all realize, for all of the people who are condemning her, saying she does not care about the military, I'm sorry, you do realize that her program is designed for youth who are pursuing military and other careers. Oh, did John Kelly tell the people that Sergeant LaDavid Johnson's brothers were in this mentoring program? I'm sorry, did you know that Frederica Wilson was the principal of a school where Sergeant David LaJohnson's father attended? I don't think y'all hear me. This woman is like family to the Johnson family. So when you are like family to the family, then that explains why she was in the car. I'm sorry, John Kelly. You lost your son. You went through the pain. What you should have done, John Kelly, is stand before those cameras and say, how dare Donald Trump use the death of my son to attack President Barack Obama? I'm not going to listen to John Kelly denigrate and slam everyone else to say they are politicizing this issue when the man you work for politicized this issue by bringing up the death of your son in order to protect his backside. He wanted to trash President Barack Obama and other presidents. John Kelly, you are standing before the cameras as a representative of Donald Trump's administration as his chief of staff, and you are providing aid and comfort to a man with no morals, with no values, who has no character, who has no dignity, who has no empathy, who has no respect. And I cannot accept nor respect your comments for you to stand there and say what used to be sacred in this country, and the very man you are representing disrespect everything you just said. Women, the military, Gold Star families. So John Kelly, you might want to have a sit down with the man you work for and tell him about himself, because you are not going to try to shift this and blaming Congresswoman Frederica Wilson. For her letting us in on what we already know, is that the current occupant of the Oval Office, the man who is the so-called commander-in-chief, has no honor or dignity and has no respect for the office that he holds. Let's see him have that conversation. May God bless the family of Sergeant David Johnson. May his soul rest in peace. May we offer aid and comfort to any family, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, does not matter, where their family members have paid the ultimate sacrifice, the loss of life. And let's hope, even though I have absolutely no belief it will ever happen, that this man, Donald Trump, will stumble upon some dignity, some honor, some character, because he absolutely has none. Hit me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter at RolandS.Martin. You can also hit me on my Facebook page, Facebook.com/RolandS.Martin fan page. Also, please go to my digital website, allthat.tv, as well, to check out our stories. All right, folks, I got to go. I'm hopping in this bed. I'm very tired, but I could not allow me to put my head on the pillow and not weigh in on this very issue. All right, folks, y'all take care. We shall chat soon. Peace.